Coming up, we have some of the latest news for you at Universal Orlando. Plus, we are going to tell you 7 steps to having the most Potter-filled day. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Universal edition of the Diz Unplugged. This is episode 158 of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. The Diz Unplugged Universal Edition is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Universal vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. I, of course, am your host, Craig Williams, and today I am joined alongside by my co-host, Mr. Ryno Clavin.
Hello.
Hello, Ryno.
Hello.
Hey, thank you for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me.
As if you had a choice.
I know. I would choose to be here.
That works because Valentine's Day is coming up, and of course, well, that's
Ralph
not
and the
for
Simpsons?
a month.
Come on.
Yeah,
It's all ties in.
It all comes together. Wow, we have a great show for you this week, and what I would like to call the Asterix episode, almost because everything we talked about in our last week's episode, like the what happened in 2017, and then what can we look forward to in 2018, basically, like, at least a couple things we could have covered last week if things would have went better. And so we have some more updates to Mardi Gras information we need to bring to you, some discussion about a celebration of Harry Potter coming up, as well as other Harry Potter news. So I'm not going to waste any time with it, mostly because, well, I have nothing else to say. So I guess I'm just going to have to go ahead and jump right into things.
Dive on in.
Oh, okay. I will dive on in.
Like Bastion jumping into that waterfall in the never-ending story. So can you do this, Craig?
Yeah, that's a reference for you. that really works. So let's kick things off with some Universal Mardi Gras news. Last week, you may remember that we got lucky as we were recording the show. Universal had some breaking news for us in that they released the full lineup minus 2 to-be-announced dates, TWO, to-be-announced dates, with artists that haven't been put in yet. We were very excited. This never works out for us that we actually get to break something on air anymore, since mainly, well, we don't have our live show anymore, except for very special occasions, so it doesn't usually work out that we get to say something like right at the moment, but we got lucky. However, I should have also read the article that they posted out, because there was a heck of a lot more in there than just information on the acts coming to Mardi Gras. It's like you get so excited when you see names like the Beach Boys with John Stamos. That was an update too. I forgot about that. That was part of it. We need that in.
Thrilled.
Mike Love.
Wait, is John confirmed, or is
Yes.
it just he's confirmed to play in Orlando?
Okay, they're not playing any other dates in Orlando.
Okay, so that is the confirmation then.
Yeah, Mike Love, of course, basically the leader of the Beach Boys, this version of the Beach Boys, not the Brian Wilson Beach Boys. I know it gets very complicated. You got to be in the Beach Boys.
Is Brian Wilson not in the Beach Boys anymore?
No, Brian Wilson has been touring solo.
Well, I knew
for a long
he was
time.
doing a solo tour, but I thought he also went with them.
No. He played with them, I think, for like one reunion show or one tour, but no, him and Mike Love don't get along, from what I understand. That's besides the point. Mike Love tweeted out from his account that John Stamos would be joining them for 5 shows in Florida. And they're going to like West Palm and other places like that. But one of them was Orlando. And if you look on the touring calendar for the Beach Boys, their only Orlando show is marked as Universal Orlando. So
February
10th.
Yes.
So
it's coming up quick.
It is. So it really is coming up quick. 7th is Wednesday, 8th,
It
Yeah,
is the
that would be
10th.
the 10th.
I was thinking the 10th too, but I wasn't 100% sure. But when you said that, I was like, that's definitely the 10th.
Well, I just know I had plans on the 7th, and so I'm like, okay, well, what day is the 10th then? And so then I had to do simple math on air, which I know is just very exciting for
Well, I'll
all
tell you what
y'all.
your plans are on the 10th. If they're anything like mine, it's to be glued to that stage waiting for Mr. Stamos to walk on out.
I will definitely be there. So as I tweeted out to a couple people, I have seen Brian Wilson. I have seen the Beach Boys, but I have never seen the Beach Boys with John Stamos. And I think I even
Completing
mentioned
your
that.
Beach Boy trifecta.
It
Like you
absolutely
will
is.
be one of the few who will have the full Beach Boys experience.
With the exception of actually seeing them back in the 60s.
Yeah.
So
well, when you perfect that time travel machine you're working on.
yeah, I've been watching a lot of Time Traveler's Wife just to figure that out. But that's neither here nor there. So that's exciting on the Mardi Gras front in terms of the announcement with a new artist. But a bigger announcement was also in there too, not necessarily bigger than the artist, but big for me, and that is that Universal is once again changing up their Mardi Gras parade, which I guess this is just now becoming the recurring theme, that instead of building the floats and letting them get used for a couple of years before updating the parade, apparently they're just going to update them every single year now.
Wow.
So last year, you may remember that the theme was kind of mythical, and it included a bunch of names for floats that we could not pronounce even a little bit. In fact, I believe we had to have one of our listeners, and I'm sorry I can't remember your name off the top of my head. He had to send in descriptions of what each of the names actually meant in their backstories, because that's how clueless we are. But this year, let's talk about it. 12 floats in total. 6 of them are going to be the mainstay floats, and then we are having 6 brand new floats. And these are going to be made up of, drumroll, I know, big drumroll, celestial themed floats. You seem confused?
Wasn't that what they were last year?
No, last year was mythical.
Oh.
Mythical.
I thought they were all like star related things.
No, last year
that
was
makes sense.
mythical.
Yeah,
This
well,
is
they're in the stars.
celestial. So,
This is cool. Yeah.
yeah. So let's talk about what we have here. I don't have like descriptions for the floats, but we will do our best to describe them because if you're listening to this, you're probably going to be like, okay, well, I need descriptions. But in terms of if you're watching this, obviously, you're going to see the pictures as they come up. So there's going to be Orion the Hunter. Everyone knows Orion and Orion's belt. And if you don't, head over to Men in Black Alien Attack. No, nothing. It's the universe is in Orion's belt.
Yeah, but it's not. They don't talk about that in Alien.
Just shut
in the
up.
Alien Attack.
Just
That's in the
shut up.
movie.
Just shut up. I'm trying to tie it all in. Just shut up. Okay, so Orion the Hunter.
The galaxy lies in Orion's belt, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So Orion's float is pretty awesome. Right at the front of the float is who I believe to be Orion,
He got
holding
a tail.
Yeah, he has some sort of mythical tail. I mean, celestial
Celestial tail, please.
and holding a bow with arrows. And then there appears to be kind of up in the trees, like it's a very floral float with a wooden hut, and then also what appears to be another like gazebo type structure, along with antlers from whatever was killed during the hunt. So Orion the Hunter looks to be a cool one.
It's just a little weird because there's just a random shield, a little random hut. Like, are people going to be in the hut and in the gazebo, and then on the flowers here?
I would say
it's interesting
if you are when you're looking at the picture, where the hut's probably going to be in the middle of the actual float, and people are going to be standing in front of that kind of lighter green floralness bush. And then obviously up to the edge, and then on the opposite side of that. And maybe there will be some people up in like the gazebo type structure.
Okay.
Also throwing. That's my guess on that one. The next float is a Virgo the Maiden. Yes, that's right, a Virgo. And Virgo comes complete with who I believe to be Virgo on the Maiden. Yes, correct. Virgo the Maiden kind of displayed all prominently on the float. and the wings and all. I really know nothing about astrology, so I could just be completely wrong on all of these. You should probably be fact checking me actually while
I think
we're
it's funnier.
through. It probably is funnier, but I'd say the theme of this float is definitely maybe like the harvest. From what I can tell, there's a lot of wheat.
That's the corn-carrying lady of harvest.
Yeah.
That is who Virgo is.
There you go. Well, yeah, there's a lot of just wheat everywhere. It appears to be the big prominent part of it. I think this is going to be a very sparkly, pretty float from what I can tell, and I'm interested in it. I know it doesn't sound like I am, but I am interested in it. So moving along to the next float, and that's one that a lot of people are going to take by the horns. That's right.
Oh, you didn't.
Yeah, that's right. Taurus. And not the Ford.
I said, "Brr,
Not
it's
the-
cold in here."
I hate
Sorry.
you. This is just so frustrating
Be a
today.
Taurus float in this atmosphere.
Yeah, that's right. Bring it on. So yeah, the Taurus float, obviously very bull heavy, and featuring the bull in a couple different positions. Whether on the side of the float, right on the front of the float with with a weird long Zeus beard on him too, or up with stars around him. I don't really know what else to say about this float. I think it's going to be pretty, just like the rest of them. The next float, though, I'm a much bigger fan of, at least in the concept art. Just on paper, it looks beautiful, and that is Andromeda. And Andromeda, again, another thing I have zero idea
It
about.
looks like she's the Lady of the Sea. I know the television show starring Kevin Sorbo. Is that called? Was that Andromeda? Was that Andromedus or something like that? I don't know.
I have zero
was a
idea.
Gene
on that.
Roddenberry TV
You know,
show.
I definitely see that it.
Oh, it
has
is. That's the first thing that came up. Andromeda on Wikipedia.
It definitely has the sea vibe going throughout it with waves all over. But
Andromeda is the daughter of the Ethiopian king Cepheus and his wife Cassiopeia. When Cassiopeia's hubris leads her to boast that Andromeda is more beautiful than somebody, Poseidon sends the sea monster Cetus to ravage Andromeda as divine punishment. She's stripped and chained naked to a rock as a sacrifice to sate the monster. Oh, that explains the boobs in this float.
Yeah, that's right
And
on
the chains there.
right on the
Yeah.
prominent front of the float. Andromeda is chained. She is naked and chained up. So
It's not like it doesn't look like you're going to see boobs. I'm sorry to keep calling them boobs. This is really inappropriate, but she's doing an Alanis Morissette situation. Thank you. She's got her hair covering.
yeah,
That
and
business, but it looks a little.
well, on the side of the float, she's definitely chained and clothed. So
But on the front one, she's got a star right on her
Oh,
business.
It's a very well placed star. I will say that. I think it's a beautiful float. I love the color scheme with it, the blues, the greens, the yellows. It's really working for me. Ryno, you're gonna have to help look up this next one too, because
I don't
I'm
even know
just
how to say it.
I would say it's Orpheus.
I don't know how to read pronunciations things, but it looks like you kind of said it right. Yuccus?
Okay, well, what is it, Ryno? Orpheus.
Orpheus has sometimes been used in 13 sign, 12 sign, blah, blah, blah.
Okie dokie.
It's defined by the 1930 International Astronomical Union's constellation boundaries. Whatever it is, it's situated between November 30th to December 18th. It looks like it's a man. Man?
Well, it's technically Orpheus, I believe, is a serpent of sorts, and there must be a god.
Oh, there was an extension. Originally, it was 12 zodiac signs, and apparently it turned into 14 in the 70s. And this is one of the. As I said, this is the 13th, so it's a newer sign. But go on, sorry.
Well, it's very serpenty, and it appears that the serpent is wrapping himself around what appears to be either a god or a man, and apparently.
I don't know why it doesn't. It only tells me what I'm sorry. I'm frustrated with this Wikipedia thing, and I know Wikipedia is not where we should be researching stuff, but it just keeps telling me it's a constellation, but it's not like this is what it's about.
And this is where we give a PSA to everyone out there, reminding that Wikipedia is not a good source for information. While it is helpful when you're looking up something very quick and in the moment, if you're writing any sort of collegiate level paper, even high school level paper, you should not be using Wikipedia for that.
No.
So
Go
back to the Encyclopedia Britannica.
It says later that myths associate, I don't know how to say this guy's name again. Whatever. It associates him with the Trojan priest of Poseidon, who warned his fellow Trojans about the Trojan horse and was later slain by a pair of sea serpents sent by the gods to punish him. So that would explain the serpents that he's straddling here.
And that would explain it. So we got to the answer there. It took a while. It took a lot of stalling in one lecture on Wikipedia, but we got there. So that will take us to our final float, and that is Scorpius. Not Morpheus, Scorpius, and obviously this is based on Scorpius. The why is the name not? Why can't I think of the name of the creature?
Scorpion?
That's it.
It's like in the name.
That's it.
It's mostly the name. It would be like me saying sandwich, and you'd be like, "Oh, what are those things called that you hold?" And I'm like, "Sandwich."
What was the name of the Earl that created those hand things, hand eating things? So yeah, scorpions all throughout this float, on the front, on the side, on the back, in the middle. Lots of purples, lots of flowers. Just, I think this is very pretty. Ryno, any insight on Scorpius?
No.
Nope.
I mean, the thing is they're all named after constellations, so it's like you have to go. It's telling me about the constellation, but it says in Greek mythology, the myths associated with Scorpio almost invariably also contain a reference to Orion. So it's. I wonder if Orion leads the way, and these are all kind of part of his deal. Okay, here we go. According to one of these myths, it's written that Orion boasted to goddess Artemis and her mother Leto, as in Jared, that he would kill every animal on Earth. Although Artemis was known to be a hunter herself, she offered protection to all creatures. Artemis and her mother Jared Leto sent a scorpion to deal with Orion. The pair battled, and the scorpion killed Orion. However, the contest was apparently a lively one that caught the attention of the king of gods, Zeus, who later raised the scorpion to heaven, and afterwards, at the request of Artemis, did the same for Orion to serve as a reminder for mortals to curb their excessive pride. Interesting, especially since the Scorpios that I've had to deal with in my life have a lot of pride.
There you go. Wow. Okay, so I think we backtracked and we actually got a good story on Orion to go along with Scorpius. We nailed Orpheus. We nailed Andromeda. Taurus, we took the bull by the horn. Does not matter anymore. We got Virgo the maiden. So I think we gave you a good idea on the Cliff Notes. And now is your chance to go down, write in the comments below how we got everything wrong.
And how much you hate that we read from an article, how unprepared we were, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's honestly one of those things. I didn't think about these. I thought I knew about all of these because, like, with the exception of Orpheus, like, I do know all of these names. And then once you sit down, it's like, I really don't know anything.
Right. It's one of those, like, I took a humanities class in college, and one of it was all about mythology and stuff like that. And so it's like, yeah, I know it, but if you guys haven't, like, sat and studied it or, like, sat and read it, those, I don't know what you call them, poems? They're not poems, but you know what I mean? Those stories are not written like modern stories. They make no sense sometimes. And so it's just like a story that you're like, oh, all right, well, she just killed that guy. All right, cool. Yeah. So lay off.
I'll tell you what, it's no Modern Family. That's what we learned.
Where's the Cameron float? It'd be a lot of farm animals.
That'll be next year. Next year it will be Modern Family. So that's going to do it for the float talk. Again, Mardi Gras starts on February 3rd and runs through April 7th.
Yeah, I thought it ended in March, and when I looked at the dates again for the concert the other day, I was like, oh, pleasantly surprised.
Yes, pleasantly surprised.
Is it doing the every day of the week thing again? I'm sorry, I forgot. Okay,
every day of the week from April 3rd through February. February 3rd through April 7th, with the concerts only being on select Saturday and Sunday nights.
And if you get the opportunity, I would definitely recommend, like, if you're at Universal for a weekday and a weekend, I would recommend checking out the event on a weekday as well. Because when it's less concerts, I feel like it's still fun, but it's you get a little more space, and you can kind of enjoy the other stuff without the stress of having to get a place for the concert. You know, like enjoy the parade. And
Exactly.
then, you know, whatever.
I completely agree with that. Definitely try to see a concert, but also see it in the weekday so you can enjoy the experience a little bit more. Now that it's so easy that you can sit and camp for the concert that you really want to see and not have to worry about the parade, because you can just come back and see the parade on another night. But on concert nights, it is crazy, and it's insanely busy usually, and it's fun to do both.
I have a weird little fact I just happened to see here where it says, in culture, this is back about Scorpius real quick.
Okay.
In Hawaii, Scorpius is also known as the demigod Maui's fishhook, or Kakamaku Nui, or Maui, meaning the big fish hook of Maui. And the name of fishhook was... I'm not even going to pretend to say that word. This constellation appeared in the 2016 movie Moana.
Yeah.
Which, when Moana followed it to find Maui.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that. Oh. So we brought it full circle to the wrong park. So
there you go. Yeah. Brought it full circle, wrong park. Now let's move on away from Mardi Gras. Now let's head over and let's start getting pottery for the last episode. And part of our anticipation of getting excited for a celebration of Harry Potter, which kicks off January 26th and will run through the 28th. So, of course, the week after we're done with a celebration of Harry Potter, we're going to give you our full recap on the event, all that goodness. But this is going to be our moment where we try to get you a little bit pumped up for it if you're planning. And so let's start with the first big reason why you should get pumped for a celebration of Harry Potter. And that is also to deal with last week's episode again. We told you that we'd be expecting news at some point in time about a Harry Potter, another Harry Potter nighttime castle show on Hogwarts. And lo and behold, that news did not take very much time because it was just only a couple days after we recorded that it was finally announced that our next show that we will have on Hogwarts Castle will be the nighttime lights at Hogwarts Castle. If you're wondering whether or not this is a brand new show or a rehash of the one that was done in Hollywood over the summertime, we can proudly say to you that this is a rehash of the one that was done in Universal Studios Hollywood on their Hogwarts Castle over the summertime period that we discussed way back then.
Seems a little silly that it's debuting the week after the celebration.
Technically it is not. So the debut night for it will be on January 26th, and that is if you book the exclusive Harry Potter vacation package, celebration of Harry Potter vacation package, or if you happen to be members of the working media invited to see it.
So question, does that mean that the Harry Potter party that happens, I don't know what the official name for the party that kicks off the Harry Potter weekend, that's part of the vacation package, does that mean that that will be in Hogsmeade this year instead of Diagon Alley?
I don't know if it will also be in Diagon Alley, but it will definitely be in Hogsmeade for at least for this part too. Yeah. And then for anyone who didn't book the vacation package, luckily they will be doing previews on the 27th and 28th, so the Saturday and Sunday of the event, so you have a chance to actually see the show too. And then the actual debut for it is going to begin on Wednesday, January 31st. 31st. I apologize. And then it will run February 5th and February 7th through the 12th, and then additional dates will be announced at a later point. So a very small window to be able to experience this right now, but I'm sure it will, once they get everything working in sync and crowds are figured out, because I know they had a lot of problem with that with the Christmas one. Yeah. I think once it's all working, then we'll be seeing this a lot more.
Well, the problem is the Florida days are so long that once that sun starts setting later, I mean, it's not dark here till like 9 o'clock usually.
Yeah.
And these parks don't stay open that late. So this is probably it for our show. That's why we couldn't have a summertime show, really, I don't think, right?
No, we easily could. Islands is usually open till about 9 o'clock, and they could have made it work. it wouldn't be the best viewing experience, but they're definitely going to have to look at it this summer to see. But even now with closing at an earlier time, like if it does close at 7 o'clock during the winter period, it was still very difficult. You had to wait until like the last couple times it showed in the night to see like the best version of it. But if you forgot what we talked about that show back before, it is basically a celebration of the different houses of Hogwarts, featuring the iconic Harry Potter music. So the different houses each get their little segment: Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff. So it gives you a chance to, stand in your Harry Potter garb and cheer for your house when it comes up on the castle. So while I wasn't thoroughly impressed with the videos of this coming out of Hollywood, didn't get a chance to see it there. I am glad that I'm going to get the chance to see it here, and my expectations are a little bit low. So I personally feel like I'm going to come away thinking this is awesome, but who knows?
Yeah,
I could be disappointed just as I was watching a video of it. But regardless, we will check it out, and of course we will share our video for how it's done here in Florida for everyone once it happens. So that is the first news with Harry Potter. The next is, and I'm not going to go on this too long because it's kind of boring, but especially unless you're attending a celebration of Harry Potter, but they released a lot of the concept art for the merchandise that will be coming out, and it's basically an animated drawn logo of the Hogwarts Express pulling up in between Diagon Alley on one side, specifically Gringotts with the dragon on top, and then Hogwarts on the other side with the celebration of Harry Potter 2018 right on top of there. So that logo is going to be found on T-shirts, lanyards, backpacks, water bottles, more, along with the themed merch to the event. They're also going to debut a brand new commemorative wand.
From what I can see in the photo here, because you can only make out a little bit of it, it looks way better than the one last year. Because last year was the first year they did this, right?
Yes.
The commemorative wand, yeah. And I remember being a little disappointed because it wasn't. I feel like because it's the commemorative wand, it needs to be cooler than the other ones. And this one actually looks like they put some care and detail into it. So
it's a very beautiful wand. It's got like a brown wood that ends off in a kind of a shinier metallic trim at the end, like a silver. But then there's like a red ruby, like a diamond-shaped one that's just that's right on the end of the handle there. So it's definitely a beautiful wand. But with me, when I get a wand, it needs to connect to me. And I don't want to sound like a complete idiot saying that, but like I have to have some attachment to it. Just because it's pretty, I don't want it.
What? Well, I guess you're. I mean, I got Harry's. I got Voldemort's because you got to have the brother wands. I got the Elder Wand, obviously, because that's the one the whole story's about. And then I have the birthday wand that I got on my first trip to. I think that was the first one I got. And when I went on my birthday to Hogsmeade, and then I was in Diagon Alley one day and the wand chose me. And I was like, well, I'm screwed. I have to get this one. So that's my RFID wand. And I like them all.
Yeah.
I mean, I have never remembered to bring the RFID wand with me except for when we had our party in Diagon Alley and I did magic with that, the children. I don't know how to say that in a non-creepy way.
Yeah.
But the children.
The children
Were screaming.
For me, I, of course, bought... I have, instead of going like you did, getting Harry's and then Voldemort's and the Elder Wand, I went the opposite way. And I wanted to get one wand from each house. So
clever.
I have Severus Snape's representing Slytherin. We have Luna Lovegoods representing...
Gryffindor?
Ravenclaw.
Oh, Ravenclaw. I'm sorry.
We have
God, burn me at this take.
Gryffindor. I have.
Dumbledore's?
No, I have. Shoot, why can't I think of who I? No, I know for Hufflepuff, I had basically the only one that they released at the time, and that of course is Cedric Diggory.
Yeah. Neville's?
No, not Harry's, not Ron's. Why can't I think of?
Is
who
her
they
name
are?
Hermione?
No.
Is it one of the students or is it a teacher? Do you not remember?
I don't remember now.
You got to make a display for that.
Yeah. Shoot. This is really bothering me.
Get Kylie on the horn.
It's going to come to me. Wait.
Is there.
Okay, well, then my RFID wand, I have the one that they gave me at the grand opening. So, of course, that's special. The grand opening of Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
Oh, Gary Oldman.
You already said that. You said Snape before.
Yeah.
And so I always get Sirius Black.
Yeah,
I always
Sirius Black.
For some reason, the name always gets messed up.
I have Sirius Blacks for Gryffindor.
Oh, that's a
that
good
is
one.
my whole
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Gosh, that took way too long to remember.
Sure did.
Or that means I have way too much crap, and I need to start getting rid of stuff.
No, but you got to make a nice little display. You can have the colors be the background. And then it'll be the, oh my gosh, you know what you should do is get the house emblem, and then you can hang one from each corner of the emblem.
I'll tell you
Craft.
what, it's doing very good sitting in a box right now in the closet. So there's also that. And the last thing to get excited about, some of the merchandise with the celebration of Harry Potter, is they are releasing another new chocolate frog card. And this time around, it is going to be a better known name than the last one they released. Because, of course, the last one that they released was, sorry, I have to look at the name as I say this, Hengist of Woodcroft, who was the founder of Hogsmeade Village. And that
wasn't the one from last year.
That was released in November. So when
okay.
Christmas
I'm
stuff was
sorry.
starting.
I was thinking the one from the event last year, because the event last year was a big name too, because my friend Nicole made me go get it for her, and I can't remember who it is.
It was Kenneth Branagh.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. That's why it was. Gosh, what is his name? It's like he stole our memories or something.
It is. It's exactly like.
Can
his
everyone
character.
hear me? Can everyone see me? Good. That's what he says in the movie. Sorry. Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating. You're looking it up, right? I'm
Yeah.
gonna try and remember it because he steals it.
and
everyone loves him and they swoon.
I'm trying to think like one step ahead,
and there
so
are probably
I
people
don't have time to remember it.
screaming at the screen right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there probably is. The worst part about it is as I like search it, it's the name's just not like popping up anywhere like right away, which is very it's just
Chamber
very
of
frustrating.
Secrets right there, boom, and then all you have to do is be like, "Where's Kenneth Branagh?" Bum, 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 oh, he's not like in the main list of people.
See, that's what I'm telling you.
Oh, Petunia's
and I'm
listed
trying to
too.
host a show right now. It's a lot harder. You're just sitting there.
Gilderoy Lockhart.
There you go. It was Lockhart. And so this year, for a celebration of Harry Potter, it's going to be Bertie Bot. So, of course,
that's fun.
Bertie Bot's Every Flavor Bean. You'll now be able to have his card, and I think that's exciting. Of course, when it's released for this weekend and for a limited time, it's going to have a gold sticker on it, so you know you're getting specifically the Bertie Bot one. They did this with Hengist. They did this with Lockhart. They did it with Dumbledore when that was first released. And so it's always a little nice way to know that you're getting the right one. And then after that, it's just going to join the normal rotation. So you have the chance to get any of the wizards I just mentioned, plus the 4 founders of Hogwarts: Salazar Slytherin, Gryffindor.
How often do they add people to these? Is this like a regular thing they've been doing since they've opened?
It's starting to become more regular, but
because I think that's really cool. Actually, I didn't know they were adding throughout the year. I thought it was just like the one a year, and I was like, oh.
I mean, we got technically 2 last year. Now we're getting 1 more this year. It was a long time in between the one that they did with Dumbledore on it, because it was a special Dumbledore card, if I remember. It was like gold or something.
Yeah,
and then. It obviously debuted with us. And, of course, a nice little a tip for anyone out there who's getting frustrated by getting the same cards over and over again. Just talk to the people around the counter. They usually have trade cards available. So,
that's cool.
If you're pulling Gryffindor over and over again, just ask them, be like, hey, I'm
Got
just
any
dropping
Salazars
money.
back
Do you
there?
exactly just do something like that, and they usually have inventory where they can trade it out for you and make it easier. With some of the ones that are a lot harder to find, obviously it could be more difficult, but usually they almost always have the 4 houses, plenty of them, because, well, they've been around the longest. So that is it for the news. So that took way longer than I expected. So we are going to just have a fun little ending to this segment, because I think we're actually going to go out into the park and maybe do this as a vlog coming up sometime in the future.
We should. That's a good idea.
That's why I'm doing it. But we are going to tell you, for everyone out there who's coming for a celebration of Harry Potter weekend, I've been getting a lot of people asking me, should I attend the event? Should I not? What do I do? And I said, I tell anyone, it's a very specified event that is catering to a certain select fan. So I can't say one way or the other whether or not someone should actually attend it or not. But if you do love Potter deep down, I think with mixing in some of the events and just getting into the wizarding worlds,
yeah,
you can end up having a really good Potter-filled weekend.
I think it's worth doing at least once. I don't know, like we've said before, they need to start mixing it up if they want people to be making the pilgrimage here every year. But I mean, if you're going to make a trip out of it and you haven't done it before, I'd say why not? Just, if you were already thinking about coming. That's the beauty of it being included with your admission.
Yeah.
I mean, the package sounds like a good deal too, but that's for the hardcore.
Yeah, the package, I'd say that's for hardcore.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you necessarily get enough out of the package to really warrant it. It depends how much you put on the private party and some pins and stuff like that. But then again, you usually just get to walk straight into the expo without having to wait in line. And sometimes those lines get ridiculously long unless you're smart about when you attend it. So that's arguable. But let's talk about what we believe to be the perfect Harry Potter day that we will go and vlog later for you and tell you whether or not it was actually perfect. So, Ryno, step 1, how do you have to start your Harry Potter day? What is the first step? We got our letters already. We know that we're becoming wizards. So, what do we have to do from there?
Wizard essentials.
Yeah.
You need a wand.
I completely agree with that.
That's the first thing I did when I went there.
Yep, and I believe thoroughly that if you are going to start your day off, you need to go get a wand first and foremost. And there is only one place to get a wand, and that is at the original Ollivanders that you can find in Diagon Alley. Not any of those pop-up stores in places like Hogsmeade. I mean, how would you just became a wizard? How would you even know how to get to Hogsmeade? It's just you're just randomly going to stumble upon it.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Know. Yeah, that's a good point.
So you have to find your way into Diagon Alley, and you need to go to Ollivanders. And even if you're not selected for their little show that they put on, definitely take the time to walk around Ollivanders or Wands by Grigorovich if you really have to, and find the perfect wand that speaks to you. And from there, once you have your wand, I highly recommend, especially if this is early in the morning, go around and start learning how to use your wand by finding some of the magical spots that are around Diagon Alley. So typically later on in the day, things can get very busy and there'll be a line for some of these, and you don't want to watch the same effect happen over and over again and then get up to do it. It's like, oh, well, I just watched it happen 4 or 5 times, so this isn't as exciting. So I recommend doing it bright and early, as you should. And then once you have your wand, and if you need to stock up on any other, house gear or anything, you haven't been sorted yet, so I don't know why you would go buy that stuff right away. You just need to start with your wand. From there on, well, you got to go to school. So how's the best way to get there, Ryno?
The Hogwarts Express, of course.
Yes. So go back out to London, take the Hogwarts Express over to Hogsmeade Station. And from Hogsmeade Station, you'll be able to take a skip, hop, and a jump up. And there you will find Hogwarts Castle. And inside Hogwarts Castle, you will find the marquee attraction of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Hogsmeade, and that, of course, is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, which, as we've talked about, I still think both you and I agree that this is the best ride at Universal Orlando.
Maybe
Oh.
one of the best theme park attractions, period, I think.
I think it's the best in Florida, and I stand by that. I will never waver on that unless something comes along and blows me away more, and I don't know how.
That or
it could.
Spider-Man, and those are there's no question for me. Those are the top two in Florida and in possibly the United States.
Same for me. And I'm not going to ruin Forbidden Journey for you. I'm sure you've either done it or you might never do it. But let's say that while you're on Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, you might experience some Dementors. I know.
Swoop it in. Prison Mike is very familiar with these.
Prison Mike would be terrified by these. But when, of course, you have an experience with the Dementor, Ryno, what's the best way to come back from that?
Chocolate.
Oh, yeah. So then you might as well head down to Honeydukes inside Hogsmeade to buy your chocolates. And, you can get a chocolate frog. Of course, if it's your first time or even if you haven't had them in a while, try Bertie Bott's Every Flavor Bean. Again, there are some gross ones in there, but there's also some that are really delicious. I always recommend exploding.
Oh,
no, no, I'm off the Bertie Bott's. I always recommend trying the exploding bonbons. Those are my favorite candies in there.
I like the you can make your own bag of candy, and they have I call it unicorn bacon. It's the strips of rainbow-colored sour things. Those are my favorite.
And if you want to save about $10, you can just go to a grocery store right after and take the same exact candy.
You should probably get something that's exclusive to the event. I'm an idiot.
just ask if you can get a bag from there that says Wizarding World on it, and then take it to a grocery store.
Take it to. Oh my God, that's what you do. You get the bag, go to Publix, and then be like, "What can I brought back for you?"
Vacation hack.
Yeah, souvenir vacation hack. Oh my God, that's a great idea for future vlogs.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing that.
How to be the cheapest person you can.
Yeah. I'm uncomfortable now that we even talked about that. But I love exploding bonbons. They're like a white chocolate shell with basically kind of like pineapple flavored Pop Rocks on the inside.
Oh,
it's amazing.
Interesting.
Fizzing Whizbees, same style, but a milk chocolate kind of like Bumblebee with Pop Rocks on the inside. Mm-hmm. So as you start, the chocolate melts in your mouth, you start getting all that popping and fizzing. I love those. Those are my two favorite. But then at that point, you've kind of exhausted yourself. You said, I don't need to deal with 3 broomsticks. I don't need to deal with Flight of the Hippogriff. So you head back over on the Hogwarts Express because, as we always remind people, it's 2 different experiences.
Yeah, you got to do
way.
both ways.
Yeah. You're not getting the full Potter experience without it. Then we skipped 3 broomsticks, so I would then make my next meal at Leaky Cauldron and get some of their delicious British fare that they have served up inside the Leaky Cauldron, and then it's just a beautiful building. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you get more of an experience in there than you do in 3 broomsticks. So it's the absolute number 1 choice for me.
Oh, I don't know. Either one. Yeah, but I agree. Food. I like the food in both of them, so I think either one is a solid bet. Yeah.
But I recommend Leaky Cauldron. And
I think the food is more adventurous at Leaky Cauldron for sure.
It's the better one. And then you're going to end off your Potter-filled day or just little experience with, of course, ending on the final film, 7 Part 2.
No. You got to shift it back because nowhere in here did you say anything about getting a Butterbeer.
Well, I assumed that you would be doing that at Leaky Cauldron.
Okay, so the suggestion is get the Butterbeer, have the food. Okay, yeah. I'm just making sure it was included in the Harry Potter day.
No, that's in the meal.
Okay.
I say don't get the Butterbeer separately from there. Put it in with your meal.
Okay, yeah.
I know a lot of people love.
You get a discount when you do it like that if you're an annual pass holder.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people love the fishy green ale and the.
Blah, no.
I don't like any of those anymore. They were cool at first, but then
the problem with the fishy green ale is it should be frozen or a lot colder than it is. So it's like boba, exploding boba in it, but it was weird because you're like, this drink's kind of warm.
Well, it's not even that one. Like I never like the lemonade one.
I like the
I didn't
otter,
like
the one made
orange
for otters.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that one
No.
with the cinnamon and the. Pop some champagne in that, and you got yourself a wonderful breakfast drink. I know what I'm doing this weekend.
I used to be a fan of those when it first opened up, but I think my taste just kind of changed on them. I go back. My solid one, as always, is just your cold butterbeer. That's all you need in life. A good cold butterbeer.
Frozen butterbeer.
No, a good cold
Frozen
butterbeer. A good cold butterbeer while you're enjoying your meal at the Leaky Cauldron. And then finally wrapping up your day with 7 Part 2 and experience Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the best way to end it. Let Donald Gleason wave goodbye to you and then forget about Potter for the rest of your life and
Goodbye
never
forever.
experience it
and
again.
You leave your memories at the door.
Exactly.
What do they say when they pull the memories out? Do they say something, or they just tap the head and pull it out?
I believe they just tap the head and pull it out. Once you get advanced enough, you don't have to actually say.
Do you remember the name of
spell.
the thing it goes into?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
sorry, we'll have to translate that later. But that is our Potter Day. We're going to go and we're actually going to do it at some point here so we can share it with you. And, we hope everything goes right and you end up...
Pensive.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Sorry.
So... I will tell you what, since I haven't worked there in such a long time, I have forgotten all of the names of everything.
It's making me sad with the amount of things I've forgotten, too.
But I just got the notification from my library that the second book is available to download, Chamber of Secrets, so I can listen to that. So I'm making my way through those audiobooks.
Making my way downtown.
And I'll refresh my memory with all this. But that's what we recommend during a celebration of Harry Potter weekend, or just any Harry Potter weekend that you're going out to plan. And that's actually it for this show. So this was a bit of a weird one, not normal, but we hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. So I want to start by saying thank you to everyone out there for listening and watching to this. Ryno, thank you so much for being here. And, of course, if you need any more information on this show or any others on the Diz Unplugged podcast network, head over to dizunplugged.com. You'll find links to our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and just anything else you might ever need from us. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and leave comments and thumbs up. And if you're listening to this on iTunes, subscribe, rate, and review us. So that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you once again to everyone out there for listening and watching. We really do appreciate it. We will be back with you next week for another episode of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. But until then, remember, no resolutions.